the channel like a young Kenny Loggins, we cut loose Footloose with Footloose GI Joe Classified Series.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another GI Joe Classified Series unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got one I've been waiting for. We got our boy, Footloose. But for all your Footloose needs and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Yes, 15%. That's exactly what I did. Went over there, picked up Footloose at jaystoysandgames.com. Save myself 15% as well. Man, oh man, I tell you guys, you've got to check their site every single day for the new arrivals. A lot of deals to be had. Deals of the day almost every single day over there. And it's nice for me because they're a local shop, so I can always run in there if I need to. But man, oh man, picked up Footloose. Very excited. The hardest to get of the new batch of Joes, which we've unboxed all of them on the channel recently. Check out all the unboxings. And I guess after this, what is next for G.I. Joe? It could be the Rattler HasLab, and oh my gosh, that's a problem for future Kyle. And like a young Dippin' Dots, the future may be now. So the Rattler on its way. People already starting to receive that one. So I got to figure out where I'm going to put it. And those are always a big unboxing, a big undertaking, no pun intended. But we'll get to it. Just like we'll get to this review, as we do this review, like we do all the other reviews on the channel, we're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And I gotta say, Footloose, a favorite character of mine. I wouldn't say he's top 5 or anything like that, but I enjoyed his time in the G.I. Joe cartoon back in the day. You know, he was just far out surfer dude. He was just ready to hang 10, have a good time, and he always looked really cool while he was doing it. I will say, though, this is a little PSA, and Todd McFarlane, I haven't told you this story. Todd from the couch, of course. A little PSA about this one here, though. You know, Footloose growing up, huge Beach Boys fan. You know, rest in peace, Brian Wilson. Tough about those Beach Boys. Beach Boys a little bit underrated, I would say. You know, a huge band in America for the most part. For the most part, you know what I'm saying? Not big everywhere, of course, but pretty big. Obviously, everybody's heard of the Beach Boys. I don't know if they go down to Kokomo or not, but apparently John Stamos does, we know, a time or two. But Footloose, huge Beach Boys guy, huge surfing guy, a guy that likes to just have a lot of fun. Unfortunately, that's you're exactly right, Tom. That's where that dastardly Duke comes in here. That no good Duke. You know, Todd, you always talk about it, and I talk about it a lot. Dare to keep a kid off drugs. Now, a lot of people joked about Dare in the 80s. I love the Dare. We had the Dare band coming to our elementary school, and they were rocking out to the Dare stuff. It was kind of like the Average Joe band back in the day. And Footloose, of course, a member of that band, as we know. But Dare came to our school, talked to us, and talked us away from drugs. And that was a nice thing. Now, Footloose being much older than me, they didn't have Dare back in that day. And Footloose, of course, just being a party guy, hanging 10, doing all that kind of stuff, was introduced to the devil's lettuce marijuana at an early age. Yes, marijuana. I don't want any part of it. It smells, it stinks. I don't know. I'm not smoking. I got to protect these lungs. These lungs of a champion. How do I have so much breath for all these videos? If I was smoking and doing that stuff, it'd be trouble. That's for sure. But unfortunately, Footloose got caught into the dangers of the drug culture. And unfortunately for him, it stopped his growth as a Joe member. But the key to this whole story, Kyle, where is it going? Where is it going? Well, guess who introduced one young Footloose to drugs? Yes, you're exactly right, Tom McFarlane. Duke. Duke, a drug pusher. Now, he may be a pedophile. We heard that in the blowtorch unboxing. He's also pressuring people to do drugs, marijuana, the hard stuff, the really hard drugs like marijuana. Duke's pushing it on people. He's pushing it on there. He's passing doobies. He's doing all that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, guys like Flint was like, Duke, this is unbelievable. I'm not going to tattle on you, Duke, like I should, just kick you out of the Joe team, but just stop it. Stop getting these guys hooked on that devil's lettuce. And Flint, you know, salt of the earth and all that stuff. But then, unfortunately, Footloose took the bait. You know, he was weak, had a weak moment, and that stopped his growth on the Joe team, and that's why he was so messed up. So once again, it all comes back to Duke and his shenanigans, but I digress. Now let's dive into Footloose. How about? But Footloose is here, looking good, looking ready for the Classified Series, of course. Beautiful looking figure. I always love how he just feels like an army guy. It looks like he walked out of Nam with my father-in-law. That's what it looks like right there. Looking good. Footloose, of course. Cutting loose, as we know. Throwing up the peace sign right here. Oh, you know why he's doing that. He's a wild guy, of course. Number 156, wild times. 156 Joes so far. And Cobra, of course. QR code on the side. And then on the back, there he is. Look at that. We got old Dusty in the background. Two friends hanging out in the desert, it looks like. Yep, and we got the Mauler back there. Oh, get me the Mauler. That's got to be the HasLab one of these days. I love that Mauler. I would turn that thing on, and oh, it would be running roughshod in my toy Fig Fed back in the day. Love the Mauler, and I always had Dusty in the Mauler, of course. But Footloose on a desert mission. He's cutting loose wherever it goes. He's like, man, I don't see any waves around here, but there is some devil's lettuce. I'll take some of that. Who knows? But Jibber Jabber down low, of course. Nothing else too wild on here. He's got a little shamrock on his shoulder right there. I don't know if that was originally supposed to be a marijuana leaf, and then once again, Flint said, cut it out. See you later, goodbye. Spider-Man style. See you later, cut loose, foot loose. Like a young Kenny Loggins. And as a little kid, I had to have been like 2 years old when that song came out. Maybe something like that. But I was dancing to Footloose. I was singing Footloose for the relatives and everybody. I was just going crazy like a young Kenny Loggins is what I was doing. I love that Footloose song. Now the days don't really like Footloose, don't really like Kenny Loggins. Not going to be listening to that. But man, as a little kid, ooh, it caught me. It caught me. 2 years old, of course, full of blue-eyed soul like a young Dusty Rhodes back then. And I was cutting loose, Footloose, of course. But there he is, the plastic prison, looking beautiful here. Unfortunately, no extra hands. Would have been cool to have like a Hang 10 hand or maybe like the peace sign hand he had over there. What, Todd McFarlane? Oh, come on. No. He wanted a cigarette hand or a marijuana hand where he was smoking one of those. I don't think that's a good idea for a kid's brand, if you ask me. You know, but NECA, they gave us Vincent Price with his patented cigarette. So it's happened before, but I think that's a little different, age bracket collecting Vincent Price. I don't know. I'm collecting them both, though, so who knows? Maybe Todd's onto something. He is a smarter businessman than me, that's for sure. That's for sure. I'll give him that. Oh, we got some serious tape on here. Todd, you're going to have to lick this and taste it. Make sure it's not Cambodian. We don't want any lawsuits, of course. And there it is. Plastic prison. See you later. The old Footloose shuffle. The old cut loose as we know it. But let's dive into this one here. We got all kinds of stuff going on. And we're going to start off with a little knife. He's got that little knife. He's got to have a holster for it, doesn't he? Doesn't he? Somewhere. Okay, right there on his vest. I was going to say, there's got to be a spot for that knife, but it is silver blade, black handle. Gets the point across. Got a little pistol. Always love it when the Joes have a little pistol like this. You got to have this. You can't have all the big rifles going on. You got to have a little pistol. Looking good all in black. Then we got the old classic machine gun. Is this like standard issue Vietnam, I think? It's got to be right here. And oh, he's got a magazine, and who'da thunk it? Of course, High Times. High Times for Footloose. Oh, that devil's lettuce got him. It's got him good, that's for sure. But looking good here, like that weapon, all in black, looking beautiful. Get the backpack, very standard backpack with this one here. Looks like something Footloose would have, of course, all in brown. Got the canteens on the side. Who knows what's going on in there, but we do got the backpack. Then we got the big old bazooka right here, looking very good here. I love like the teeth on the side. Reminds you of the Tiger Shark and things like that. Some other G.I. Joe vehicles over the years. Looking good, all in black. And then you got the big old missile bomb that fits right inside there. It doesn't come out too hard. You got to give it a shake to get it out, but it will stay in there decently, I guess. Decently. You just got to be careful. Nobody wants to lose any pieces. But looking good. I don't really recall him using this ever. I guess maybe he did come with this once upon a time. I should mention Footloose, back in the day, the G.I. Joe 25th anniversary collection. Was he the mail-away? I always get confused. Him and Dial-Tone both, I think, were mail-aways, and I missed both of those figures. I don't know what I was doing. I was sleeping. I slept on those two, and I slept on the Roddy Piper convention exclusive, and it eats away at my soul every single night. I can barely sleep at night because of that, but I am missing that Footloose from back in the day, and I hate it. I had that beautiful 25th anniversary, all the figure subscription club figures, but I'm missing like 6 figures, and it just eats away at my soul. I need to finish that line, but I don't want to pay $500, $600, $700 for a Roddy Piper. I don't want to pay $300 for a Dial Tone. Oh, it just eats me away. It eats my soul. It makes me want to sell that whole collection. It makes me want to just get rid of it all. So, you know, I'm done. So hard to say goodbye. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. But that, and of course the Classic Superstars line, brought me back into collecting after I graduated college. So I was pretty excited about those days. Once again, Tangent City here today. I'm all fired up. I'm getting ready to go to a birthday party, and it's not my birthday party. It's my niece's birthday party. I'm getting all fired up. Getting ready to party. That's what I'm getting ready to do. But now we're going to cut loose with Footloose. He does got the helmet here. He got some foliage on the top of the helmet. Nobody put any Roundup on that. He's got some of that going on. Of course, you got the little I guess, light up there at the top. You got a little microphone on the side so he can hit up his buddy Dusty out there in the desert, I guess. But a pretty standard issue helmet here, but he does make it his own, just like the old days, with a little bit of that on the top. Like to see that with Footloose. But now we're diving into the man, the myth, the legend, the Footloose. And he looks like a G.I. Joe guy. Now, some of these guys like Blowtorch. I like all the Joes, except for Duke, of course. We know that. I don't like him. Don't appreciate what he brought to the team. Don't appreciate him as a leader. That's my prerogative. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to say. And I know a lot of you guys agree with me, of course. But something special about this Footloose, you hand this to somebody, they're going to say, that's a G.I. Joe guy. That's a G.I. Joe guy. Where you hand him a Blowtorch or somebody like that. And they're like, what is this? A fireman? What is going on here? He's not a fireman. He's starting the fire. He's not putting them out. Like a young barbecue, the opposite direction. But Footloose looks like a Joe. It looks like a stereotypical Joe. And sometimes you need stuff like that. And he's very dumbed down, very plain Jane. But in the plain Jane aspect, he rises to the top. A very good looking figure right here, Footloose. I really like this figure, and I think the head sculpt is awesome. I love that push broom up there. Just screaming 1980s like Tom Selleck in his Hawaiian shirt that I'm wearing here today from the Tom Selleck collection. Shout out Tom Selleck, of course. Mistaken for my dad many a times back in the day, as we do know. But I do like this push broom on him. I like the hair. Just looking good. A classic version of Footloose. Beautiful, beautiful right there. He's got the deep V-neck going on. He's getting all the way down there in that deep V, and the ladies love the deep V. Trust me, Todd McFarlane, the day I met my wife way back in the day, I was wearing a real deep V, and I had like 10 chains on. I looked like Mr. T, but white. And I was just swimming everywhere. The ladies were all over me at the club. I was dancing. Dare I say I was cutting loose Footloose on the club dance floor. My wife saw me from a mile away. She couldn't take her eyes off me, and we've been together ever since. Never a moment apart except for when I'm on work trips. There you go. But Footloose looking good here with the deep V there. He's got the collar going on. He's welcome into Club Grayskull any time of the week, and even Club KWK I've heard as well. Got the vest over the top. You got the grenade on the top. You got the holster there for the, of course, knife. You got the pockets all over. He's all playing that pocket game. On the back, you got the hole in the back. You can use that as he got shot in the back, or you can put the backpack in there if you want to. You got a watch going on, a wristband over there on the hands. 2 trigger hands down here as well, looking very good. Got a little United States flag over here on one side, and then we got that clover leaf on the other side. Is there an explanation for this clover leaf? As we said earlier, he wanted to put, of course, the marijuana leaf on there, but High Times Magazine, Cypress Hill, and the rest of the gang said, nope, we're not going to do that. You can't do that on your Joe uniform, and thankfully he didn't. Flint, of course, would have vetoed. He would have pulled him to the side and said, man, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm just looking out for you, Footloose. I'm looking out for you. But looking good there, of course. Bare arms here looking beautiful as well. And then you got the camo outfit looking awesome. Love the camo on this one here. Holster on the side for the pistol on the belt. Looks like you got something back here. I don't know if those are magazines. Yeah, it is a magazine. At first, I thought that was like a bunch of little knives back there. Like he was going to be throwing knives or something, just like winging knives around, but not the case right there. But looking beautiful. Love it. Black boots down below. Just a fabulous, fabulous figure. This could be the sleeper G.I. Joe figure of 2025. Dare I say, when we do our top 10 year-end list, he could be on that list, I think. Arms all the way around for us. Little butterfly shoulder action as well. Bicep cut. Double jointed. Pinless elbows. Hands back far side to side. Head back far side to side. Also a little neck movement in there as well. Waist articulation. You got the ab crunch on there. You got the big old splits if you need it. If you need to hang 10 and cut loose, of course. Drop down hips, thigh cut, double jointed, pinless knees. You know those are the hits I want to be played with. Very tight on my edition here. Boot cut. Nope, no real boot cut. Well, you do get it kind of at the ankle. I guess we do get it there. And then you get the ankles back far side to side, up and down. And of course, made in China. China, not Vietnam with this one. He's straight up China is this Footloose here. Of course, does he fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand using discount code Kyle to save 10%? What do you know? He does. Footloose, man, oh man, a fabulous, fabulous figure, a must-have figure. Currently the hardest to find of the latest wave that includes Dark Lawn, Blowtorch, Frag Viper, but he's coming. Amazon just showed me shipping notice, and I immediately canceled that. Said I already got it from Jay's Toys and Games. So I canceled that Amazon order. But if you order from Amazon, it should be shipping right now. I think Jay's sold out. I put a little message out there, and I think he sold out pretty quick after that. But I love this Footloose, a sleeper figure, a must-have in the classified series. But what's your thoughts on Footloose? You cutting loose? You going to pick this one up? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day. And check out my other YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe over there. YouTube channel memberships, Patreon, your best way to support the channel. All kinds of bonus content for you. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. That is my podcast every single Tuesday, the Kyle Peterson Show. Join my wife, Angie, and me as we break down all kinds of stuff. Have a lot of fun over there, wherever podcasts are found, with videocast on YouTube. So for Footloose, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
Get that real